Hey everyone, here is a tutorial for teachers on using Padlet. So I'm going to share my desktop screen and you can see that I'm at Padlet. Make sure that you log in at gvsd.padlet.org. Don't go to the regular padlet.com because it doesn't take you to the right place. So you want to, as a teacher, you want to go to gvsd.padlet.org and then log in with your office credentials. Once you're logged in, you need to, you're going to create your Padlet. And you see on the right-hand side, or I'm sorry, the left-hand side, the pink button, it says Make Padlet. So that's what you're going to click to create your Padlet. And when you do that, it's going to ask you what type of Padlet do you want. This is going to depend entirely on what kind of purpose you're using it for and also your preferences. So the wall just packs everything in kind of as close as it can. So I'll show you, this is a wall. An example of a wall. See, all the posts just get packed in lines. And then Canvas is one that gives you more flexibility. You can move things around and put them in the order you want and connect them to each other with lines. So it's really good for brainstorming and like if you're kind of showing a method, like you want to show like the life cycle of a flower or something, you know, you can use the arrows, which is cool. I do have an example of a canvas here, so you can see I put things in the order I wanted them, and then I also connected the database icon to its video tutorial. So you can see how if you connect one, you can just move it around and the arrow just follows it, which is kind of neat. So that's kind of a canvas example. And then Stream just puts things in a straight line, just one post on top of another. Grid packs them into rows of boxes. And Shelf kind of is like in rows. And then you've got your other three. So you're going to choose whichever one you want. I'm going to select. And the first thing it prompts you to do is to kind of set up some of the initial things. Now, before you get started with this, you need to know what kind of Padlet are you creating. There's basically two different options. You're either creating a Padlet that you want other people to post on, like you want students to post their own versions of things on your Padlet, or you're creating a Padlet that is just meant to show people something or give them information, and you don't actually want them to be able to add or change it. So two different types of Padlets, whatever you want. You either are creating one that other people can add to and comment on and post on, or you're creating one that is just a way of presenting information and it would act like a website. People wouldn't be able to add their own stuff to it. So make sure you know which one you're doing. And then you can title it. So I'm just going to do example. Zoom in here so you can see a little better. And then the description, if this is the kind of post, if this is the kind of Padlet where you want other people to post on, you would want to make sure you give them their instructions here, like post your video by May 23rd or whatever the instructions are. If it's the other kind of Padlet, which is just information, then you can just kind of describe what it is. So this Padlet has all of the database links you will need for your US history research or whatever. And then icon, you can change the icon. There's really no reason to do it and no reason not to do it. It's kind of just for fun. So I usually do pick an icon. So when you choose your icon, you would see in the top that your little icon changes up here near the top of the Padlet. So that's pretty much all that does. Scrolling down, the next thing is the appearance. So you can click on the appearance wallpaper. You can change the colors and the patterns and the textures and everything. So if you find one you like better, you can change it. And then the color scheme, font, you can change all of that. Now here is the attribution. These options are important for you to choose. Attribution means, do you want every author's name to display when they make a post? So if this is the first kind of Padlet where you're having other people post on your Padlet, you probably do want to display the author name above each post, because like if you have a classroom of 30 students and they all are supposed to upload a video to your Padlet, you would probably want their name attached to the video, because otherwise it's like getting a pile of papers where no one signed their name, right? Comments, this is completely up to you. Again, if this is the first kind of Padlet where you are having people post, you can also enable comments. So you could let them comment on each other's. So this would be cool if like you had students create an infographic and then you said, okay, everyone upload your infographic to Padlet, and then you told students that they need to comment on at least 3 Padlets saying a question that they have about the information or saying a comment. You know, you can kind of make it interactive by doing that. You can also add reactions. So you can add the ability for people to like, vote on, give stars, or even grade different posts. So if you tell students, let's say you're doing a bookmark making contest, and whichever bookmark gets the most votes wins, and that bookmark is going to be made into an actual bookmark for the library. You could tell students to everyone upload your bookmark designs, and then before Friday, like whichever one you think is the winner. And so you can go here and enable the likes, and then that would allow them to like each other's posts. And then you could say whoever gets, you know, the most likes wins and gets theirs made into a bookmark or whatever. Content filtering, require approval. I usually do make my posts require approval if it's the first kind of Padlet where I'm having other people are able to, you know, post on my Padlet. I usually put require approval just because, like, you know, some people are always going to want to kind of test the waters and see if they can get away with posting something inappropriately. So if you put require approval, then none of the posts people make will show up publicly until after you've approved it. So I like to do that. And I usually also filter the profanity. That way, if anybody does type in a bad word, it just automatically gets blacked out with an emoji. So those are kind of the options there. Now then I'm going up and I'm going to click next. And then it says you're all set, post your heart's content. Now you can start posting now, and I will get to that in a second, but it's very, very important that you do something first. If you click on the share button at the top, you want to click on that. And it's important that you do this in every Padlet. If there are other teachers or people you want to invite to the Padlet, you can do that here and add members. So if you're, you know, co-teaching and you both want to have the ability to be an administrator on the Padlet, and you can add other teachers here. And then privacy, it has the privacy options here. So private means that it is nobody can get on it no matter what. Even if you share the link with them, they can't access it. Password would be, you know, you can set a password on it and people would have to have the password in order to access it. Secret means that it is publicly accessible with the link. So if you share the link and it's set at secret, anybody who clicks on the link, or if you embed it somewhere, they'll be able to see it. And you can also choose organization-wide, which means that anybody that's signed in with a Great Valley sign-in would be able to access, and everybody else wouldn't. So most of mine are usually secret because I just want people to be able to access it with the link. But, you know, if it was a classroom only Padlet, then you might want to do organization-wide so that only other students could see it or whatever. And then this is important. You have to choose visitor permissions. Do you want the people who visit your Padlet to be able to add to it or not? So this is what I was talking about earlier. If you have the first 2 Padlets, the first Padlet is where you want people to be able to add to it. So you would want to make sure your visitor permissions say visitors can write. You do want them to be able to add to the post. If you are doing the other kind of Padlet where you are just providing information and you don't want people to be able to change anything or add to it, you would want to do visitors can read. That means that everyone will be able to see the posts, but they won't be able to add their own posts, modify things, delete things, anything like that. So just make sure that you choose, you know, whichever option you want there. And then I'm going back. Make sure you click save if you change anything. And then down here is where it gives you the link. You can get the link to wherever you want to put it. You can get the QR code. You can embed it directly into your website, however you want to share it. So that's how you do that. Once you get all the settings sort of figured out, then you can start adding your posts. So you can do this in 2 different ways. One way is that you can actually just take a link and paste it in. So let's just say that I want to paste the library website. So I go to my library website and I copy the URL and I go back to my Padlet. I can actually just click in the Padlet and do, click and do paste it. And it actually just creates a post with that link on its own. It's kind of cool. It's a quick way to kind of add things. You can just copy their links and paste them in. So you can see, since I have this set up as Canvas, it will let me just move this to wherever on the screen I want it to be. You can also click the 3 little dots, edit post, and this is where you can give it a title. So I can do library website, and then you can also add instructions or, you know, whatever. If you're teaching them about something, you can add it here. And you can also add more links here as well. And the other way to add posts is to click the plus sign in the bottom right. And then it gives you a box and it lets you add whatever you want to it. And you can also change the size of it if you want. So here you can give it a title. So maybe I would say, I don't know, just I can't. And then whatever you want to type here, and then you can upload like anything. You can upload a document, a picture, whatever from your computer. You can link to any website that you want. You can add you can do Google, actually a Google search right there. You can add pictures and images, and you can click the 3 dots, and that gives you all these different options. You can record your screen, you can draw, you can add a place. There's a lot of different options. There's a lot of flexibility in Padlet. So no matter what you're adding, there's plenty of ways to do that. You can add pictures, and then if you want to go and move it, you can. And if you want to edit it, you just click those 3 dots, and again, you can edit. And then since I'm in a canvas, I can also connect my post. So let's say I want to connect this. It gives me my options, and I can choose connect. And now these two would be connected to each other, which is kind of a cool way of doing like if you're doing like an infographic or like a how-to, or, you know, like I said, like a life cycle, something like that. So that's Padlet. I think that's pretty much most of it. So I'll show you 2 examples here. Again, I have my decision day one. This was a Padlet I created where I enabled people to be able to add to it. And so seniors were able to go in and click the plus sign and add their picture showing what college they're going to next year. So that was how this Padlet worked. And then I enabled commenting and liking on it so that other community members, you can see, went in and commented to wish some of the seniors luck or to say something nice to them, or whatever. You could see all the comments that were added, which is kind of cool. Okay, and then that's how that one worked. And then here is a different Padlet I made, which is the second kind of Padlet, the one where I didn't want anyone to be able to add to it. It's just me. I just added information myself. So I just created a database and tutorial page where I put all the databases, and they're all linked. And then I linked their video tutorials to them as well. And I was just playing with this to see if I wanted to use Padlet instead of the SchoolWire's website. So those are 2 different types of Padlets you can do. So I hope the video helps. And of course, if you have questions, let me know. But happy creating and have fun. Bye.